You feel it first in your chest. A warmth that doesn't come from the air around you, but from some flickering ember long buried within. It pulses like a heartbeat behind your ribs, delicate and golden, soft as a whisper, yet as sure as the rising sun. Without explanation, your breath deepens. You look up, perhaps not even knowing why, and there she is, Venus, wrapped in firelight, stepping into the royal sign of Leo, a celestial queen, returning not to rule over, but to awaken what has been sleeping inside you. The stars do not scream this change, nor does it crash upon your world like a storm. No, it moves in the way all sacred things do, slowly, sensually, with the confidence of something that has already begun, long before you noticed. There is a shift, almost imperceptible, like the moment night begins to soften into dawn. Venus in Leo is not merely a planetary transit. It is a ceremonial re-entry, a holy coronation of the heart. She does not ask you to be more than you are. She asks you to remember, and you do. In fragments, at first, a childhood memory surfaces, you singing boldly before you were taught shame. A long-forgotten dream brushes against the edges of your mind as you wake, fragrant and wild. You notice colors more vividly. The world seems to tilt, ever so slightly, toward beauty. These are not accidents, they are echoes. The celestial gates are parting to show you something sacred. The glow of your true self. Not the version of you shaped by fear or compromise, but the luminous one who remembers how to burn with joy. There is no urgency here, but there is gravity, a pull inward toward the throne room of your own soul. This is where Venus in Leo does her work. She does not change you, she unveils you. She walks you through the corridors of your own heart, illuminating paintings you once hung there, now covered in dust. She turns on the lights and hands you a mirror, not to judge, but to recognize. Look, she says, this is who you have always been. You begin to feel yourself longing, but not with the ache of emptiness. It is a sacred longing, a deep remembering, the desire to dance without reason, the urge to create without audience, the hunger to live with open palms and an unguarded chest. Leo is the realm of the heart, ruled by the sun, and Venus, now in this temple of golden fire, offers you the key to its hidden doors. You are not being asked to perform, you are being invited to return. And yet, there is resistance, not loud, but quiet, a hesitation. You have grown used to dimming your light, haven't you? You learned to tuck away your dreams, where they would not be mocked or misunderstood. You buried your passions beneath responsibility, your joy beneath the need to be accepted. You wore the masks that kept you safe, but in doing so, you silenced something holy. Venus in Leo does not fault you for this. She only asks, is it time now? Can you let it breathe again? This is not a time for logic. This is a time for fire, for intuition, for soul. You are being summoned not to understand, but to feel. Venus in Leo wraps herself around your spirit and sings a lullaby to your inner child, the one who used to dream in bright colors. She reminds you that desire is not sin, it is compass. That joy is not trivial, it is divine. You may begin to notice a craving for beauty that cannot be ignored, a need to express, to adorn, to love with unashamed depth. You may start to walk differently, speak differently, look at yourself in the mirror, not with critique, but with curiosity. This is Venus in Leo waking up inside of you. She wants you to know that your radiance is not arrogance. It is offering. This cosmic energy does not ask you to pretend. In fact, it demands the opposite. The time for performance is over. What is asked of you now is realness, vulnerability, a return to the pulse of who you were before the world told you who to be. The flame that calls to you now is not external. It lives behind your sternum. It has been waiting for you to remember that you are not only allowed to shine, you are meant to. This is the beginning, the soft golden hour before the full light of day. The sky does not shout, but it hums. Venus in Leo steps forward with her mane of stars, eyes glowing like the sun at its highest point. And she says, "Come with me. Come home to the temple of your own heart. You may not know the path ahead, but you feel the fire begin to rise. And that is enough. That is how it begins. The return to your own sacred radiance." And so, the flame begins to grow. It doesn't blaze instantly. It trembles first. It quivers in your chest, as if unsure. It has permission to rise, but rise it does. And with it comes the ache, the warm, strange ache of something inside you, expanding faster than your current self can hold. This is not chaos. This is alchemy. And though it may feel like falling apart, you are in truth falling inward, collapsing into the very soul of your becoming. You feel it in the body, a tightening behind the heart, a sudden flutter in your throat when you speak a truth you'd long buried, restlessness at night, tears that appear with no story, all sacred symptoms. Venus in Leo has placed her golden hands upon your chest, and with infinite compassion, she is pressing, not to harm, to awaken, to melt the wax from the heart, so it can beat again, unbound. The mind does not understand what is happening. It demands logic, structure, explanation. But the soul has already stepped into the temple and lit the first candle. And the soul does not speak in straight lines. It speaks in sensation, in dreams, in that haunting, half-lost melody. You wake up humming. You are being undone, yes, but not broken. You are being disrobed. The masks you wore for safety, for love, for belonging, they no longer fit. And so they begin to fall. The mask of politeness that hid your passion, the mask of achievement that hid your longing, the mask of perfection that silenced your tenderness. They peel away like old skin. You might want to grab them, tape them back on, but your hands tremble now, because a part of you remembers what it felt like before the masks, and that part is rising. There is grief here, deep, sacred grief, not just for what was lost, but for what was never given space to live. You mourn the younger self, who swallowed her voice to be loved. You ache for the artist in you who never painted, because the world called dreams impractical. You feel anger too, fierce, molten, righteous. This is not the rage of destruction. It is the fire of rebirth. Let it rise. Let it burn what was false. You are not wrong to feel these things. These are not symptoms to fix. They are signals, emotional weather systems, swirling to reorient your compass. And beneath the storm, a still voice begins to whisper, you are never broken. You are only buried. The relationships around you may begin to shift. Some may fall away, gently or abruptly, as the masks dissolve and you no longer pretend. Others may surprise you with their depth, mirroring your courage with their own. This is how it works. When the heart reopens, only those who speak its language can remain. Venus in Leo does not demand you walk alone, but she does require honesty. Anything that asks you to stay small cannot come. Your inner world now begins to feel like a forest after lightning, scorched but alive, smoky but sacred. Something is stirring in the ashes. Not a conclusion, but a question. If you were no longer afraid of who you are, what would you become? This is the holy disruption, not to destroy you, but to undo what was never truly you in the first place. And as you sit in the quiet that follows the storm, you begin to feel it again. The glow, faint but steady. Not from outside, from within. It doesn't ask you to explain it. It only asks that you stop looking away. This is your fire. And now that the masks have fallen, it can finally touch your skin. Breathe. You are not in the darkness. You are in the chrysalis. And soon, you will not just remember the flame. You will become it. The chrysalis quakes, not with fear, but with memory. The shell that once protected now begins to split. Not because you are failing, but because you are finally outgrowing what you thought you had to be. This is the holy aftermath of the inner disruption. The ground still smolders. The masks lie in ash. And now, as the smoke clears, you begin to see the sacred architecture of this moment. Venus in Leo did not come to dismantle your life. She came to reveal the design underneath it. What is rising now is ancient, archetypal, a remembrance coded into your very breath. Venus in Leo is not just a transit. She is the queen returning to claim her lineage through you. She speaks the language of the lion, fearless, heart-centered, radiant, with sovereign soul, but not the kind of royalty born of power over others. This is a sovereignty of self, a remembering that your light was never something to be earned. It has always been your birthright. This is the mythic heart, a temple built not from certainty, but from courage. And Venus in Leo walks with you there, torch in hand. You begin to notice the symbols aligning, dreams thick with sunlight and fire, the sudden reappearance of a childhood song, a lion in meditation, a golden key in a journal page you forgot you wrote. These are not random. These are cosmic breadcrumbs, echoes of the divine contracture you made before birth, to remember who you are through the things that make you burn with joy. Look to the myths. Inanna descending into the underworld, shedding garment after garment, until nothing remains but her raw essence. Sekhmet, the Lioness goddess, fierce and wild, who burns not out of cruelty, but to cleanse falsehood. The sun card in tarot, where a child rides a white horse under a blazing sky, naked, free, unashamed. These are not stories to admire from afar. They are mirrors. They are you. Venus in Leo calls forth the inner sovereign, the part of you that knows how to rule your life from the heart, not the mind. The one who remembers that your dreams are sacred directives, not distractions. That your desires are maps, not detours. And this archetype doesn't emerge quietly. She steps forward, crowned in starlight, uncloaked, unafraid. She reminds you that joy is a revolutionary act in a world addicted to productivity. Synchronicities will sharpen. Timelines will shimmer with choice points. You will be asked to look again at the love stories you've told yourself, the creative projects you've set aside, the passions that never stopped tugging at your soul. These are not ghosts, they are invitations. They resurface now not to haunt you, but to be healed and reclaimed. Venus in Leo does not just ask, "What do you desire?" She asks, "Are you brave enough to let it shape you?" This is not an era of answers, but of symbols. The universe will speak to you in metaphor now, in color, in melody, in synchronicity. A book falling open to the exact page you needed. A stranger's words echoing your secret thoughts. A flame that flickers just as you speak your truth aloud. You are in dialogue with the unseen. And the more you notice, the more you will be spoken to. You are not imagining the shift. The world around you begins to hum differently because you are vibrating differently. The internal flame, rekindled by Venus in Leo, begins to reshape the external landscape. You walk differently now, not because the path changed, but because you are walking as one who remembers her worth. The Queen archetype doesn't ask for permission to shine. She simply is. And so, you begin to step into the symbolic crown that was always hovering above your head, waiting for you to reach. You are not claiming a title. You are reclaiming a truth, that you are worthy of your dreams, that your radiance is medicine, that your desire is not too much. It is exactly the magnitude of who you came here to be. So listen closely now. The signs are speaking. The archetypes are moving. The soul contracts are activating. Venus in Leo is not done with you yet. She is mid-ritual, mid-transformation, mid-love letter to your becoming. And as the crown settles on your head, forged in fire and joy, your heart beats with one truth. You were never lost. You are simply waiting for the mirror, bright enough to see yourself in full. And now, crowned by fire and myth, you pause, not because you doubt, but because you finally see how far you've come. You stand at the heart of the temple, no longer a seeker, but a sword. The mirrors have revealed your form. The masks have fallen. The archetypes have awakened. And now, Venus in Leo leans in with her final and most sacred message. Not one to be shouted or explained, but to be felt. You are worthy. Let these words sink into the marrow of you, not as a mantra of hope, but as a remembering. Worthiness is not something you must earn, prove, or chase. It is the original thread in your soul's tapestry. It is the sun that lives behind your heart, steady and unshaken, even when the world forgets your name. Venus in Leo comes not just to awaken your light, but to teach you how to hold it. All the burning, the releasing, the reckoning, it has led here, to this still point, to this holy breath, to the part of you that no longer apologizes for being alive. And perhaps, for the first time in years, you can finally hear your soul again. Not as a distant echo, but as a voice within. Gentle, warm, regal. You do not need to become anything. You only need to allow what you are to be seen. This is the deeper work, not the outward radiance, but the inward embrace, to look into your own eyes and not flinch, to say, even here, even now, I am enough. Venus does not promise a life without pain, but she offers the flame that makes you brave enough to feel it fully, to meet it as a teacher, not a punishment. She reminds you that your scars are not proof of failure. They are the gold in the crown. You may find yourself softer now, not weaker, but truer. You begin to trust your joy again, not as a luxury, but as guidance. You realize that your passions are not selfish. They are sacred instructions. You begin to say yes more often, not to others, but to yourself. A yes that rises from the womb of the heart, unfiltered by guilt or fear. This is what it means to be sovereign, not to control, but to honor, to speak your truth, even when your voice shakes, to choose yourself, even when the world turns away, to love, without needing to lose yourself. Venus in Leo teaches that wholeness is not perfection, it is authenticity. It is the willingness to be seen in your glorious, imperfect, burning aliveness. And so, the soul settles, not into silence, but into music, a music only you can hear. and only you can dance to. You begin to move differently, speak differently. The tone of your inner world shifts, and the outer world begins to reflect it. Opportunities arrive not because you are forcing them, but because you are now aligned with the frequency of truth. This is the hidden gift of this celestial moment. Not just radiance, but rest. Not just fire, but peace. When the soul no longer fights for a place to exist, it begins to sing again. And you, dear one, are remembering the lyrics. You are remembering how to live from the inside out. No more shrinking, no more pretending, only the steady unfolding of the flame. Let this part of your journey be gentle. Let it be honest. Let it be filled with small sacred acts of self-devotion, a slow mourning, a truthful no, a wild dance, an unsent love letter. These are the soul's prayers. These are the ways you say, I belong to myself now, because you do. You are not too much. You are not too late. You are not unworthy of the dream that keeps returning. You are the fire. You are the sovereign. You are the radiant heart the stars have been waiting for. And Venus smiles, not because she has changed you, but because she sees that you have finally remembered what was never lost. The flame is yours, and you are ready to carry it. And so you arrive, not at a destination, but at a threshold, a quiet place between breath and becoming. The fire that Venus in Leo awakened within you is no longer a distant myth or an elusive feeling. It is yours now. It flickers steady behind your heart, warm and golden, ready to be lived. But before you step fully into the new chapter, the flame asks for something: to be anchored, to be honored, to be made real. This is where the ritual begins. It does not need to be elaborate. In truth, the most powerful rituals are the ones performed with reverence, not spectacle. You might begin simply. Light a candle with your bare hands. Let the wick catch fire as you whisper the truth you've uncovered. Call yourself by your full name, the one your soul knows, and speak it into the air like a vow. I am here. I am whole. I return to my heart. Feel that. The presence, the stillness, the hum of something larger, now vibrating within you. This is your moment to consecrate the journey, to close the circle, not with finality, but with devotion. Journaling may help. Let your hand become a channel. Write a letter to the version of you who dimmed your light, thanking them for their protection. Write another to your future self, promising never to abandon your fire again. Sit with your heart, literally. Place your hand at the center of your chest. Close your eyes. Ask your heart what it longs for. Not in words, but in images, colors, sensations. Let silence be your oracle. Let intuition guide you. The portal is open, and it lives inside of you. This is where magic begins. When you no longer seek it outside, but recognize it within. You may feel called to adorn your body, to dress with the intention of worshipping your spirit. Do it. Your skin is a canvas. Let your outer self reflect your inner glow. You may feel drawn to dance, not to perform, but to embody the light. Move in rhythm with your soul. Let each movement be a declaration. I am no longer afraid of my own radiance. You might go to nature, barefoot in the grass, or with your back against a tree. Speak to the earth. She has heard countless prayers before yours, and she answers not with words, but with grounding. Let her hold you. Let her remind you that your fire does not make you separate. It connects you to the very stars that birthed you. If you feel emotion, let it rise. This is a sacred parting from an old self, and also a sacred homecoming. grief and joy, sadness and awe all belong here. Let them pass through you, like wind through open windows. You are clearing space for the truth. You are making room for the soul. And as the candle burns, as your breath deepens, you begin to sense it. You are not who you were, and you are not who you will be. You are becoming. And becoming is holy. End this ritual, not with closure, but with a blessing. Speak to your life. Say aloud or within, may I walk as the flame. May I speak as the flame. May I love as the flame. May I never forget the throne within my chest. And may I always return here, to the heart of my becoming. Bow to yourself. The rite is complete. The flame is lit. And the world, sensing your light, begins to shift around you. Not because you demand it, but because you have changed. And that changes everything.